So I just want to invite your attention to two books that were published. One's literary theory to cover, and the idea behind bringing these two books to your attention is to tell you something about how literary theory entered the academic scene, because these are all theories and we are talking about philosophers, but philosophers won't come to our classroom, philosophers won't make theory textbooks, philosophers don't design the syllabus. So how did this literary theory enter our syllabus? How did literary theory make its presence felt on our English department? Why English department? Why language departments? Why literature departments? That sort of a clarity also helps to understand the arrival of literary theory into our syllabus. So the first book I want to bring your attention to is a book by Paul E. Mann titled Resistance to Theory. Resistance to Theory. So in this book, Paul E. Mann is speaking about the arrival of literary theory into the academic scene. And in this particular book, Paul E. Mann says something very interesting. He says, literary theory can be said to come into being when the approach to literary texts is no longer based on non-linguistic, that is to say, historical and aesthetical considerations. I know it is very complex. He says, literary theory can be said to come into being when the approach to literary text is no longer based on non-linguistic considerations. First point, no longer based on non-linguistic considerations means is based on linguistic considerations. No longer, they have a habit of making it very complex. In simple things they can say when it is based on linguistic considerations, but instead they say no longer based on non-linguistic. The point is, point number one in that statement is literary theory brings with it linguistic considerations, linguistic theory. So this is one point. You can call it linguisticality or linguistics is the core of literary theory according to Paul E. Mann. And he says no longer based on non-linguistic as well as historical and aesthetic considerations. Now, what are these historical and aesthetic or biographical considerations? What we call liberal humanism, right? These traditional approaches to literature were called liberal humanist approaches. Now, he says it is no longer based on liberal humanism, which means it is against liberal humanist approaches. Now, what is the movement that came as a reaction against liberal humanism? It was new criticism, isn't it so? New criticism came as a reaction against liberal humanist approach. So basically what Paul E. Mann says is literary theory comes with two things. One, it is aligned with linguistic considerations. It is interested in linguistic considerations. And two, it is against liberal humanist methods, which by extension would mean its method is in certain ways similar to the methods of new criticism. What is the method of new criticism? Close reading. So, paying attention to the text is something literary theory does, as per Paul E. Mann, and paying attention to linguistic elements is another thing that literary theory does. This is what Paul E. Mann says. However, what is very much noticeable in this particular book, Resistance to Theory, and within that book he has written an essay titled Resistance to Theory and expressly focusing on that essay. So there, whatever he says, it becomes very evident that his version of literary theory doesn't have any interest in social or political impact of literary theory. In other words, the Paul E. Mann version of literary theory is apolitical and asocial. It is not interested, it does not have any social commitment, it does not have any political commitment. It lacks political commitment, it lacks social commitment. Now, think about it. Literature, we usually want to say that it has a social purpose, it has a, it tries to ameliorate the condition of people. But this version of literary theory clearly says that it is interested only in the method of neocriticism, like something like close reading, and it is interested in linguistic aspects. It is not at all interested in, what do you call it? What was I saying? Not at all interested in political and social commitments. It does not have any social and political commitment.